We will be talking about the filter, how to use the filters. This is a very basic topic actually in Excel, but I want to combine these filters with the advanced filters, because advanced filter is something which is very powerful, and it's very different from the normal filters. It can be used to do the multitask, removing the duplicacy from the data, or pulling the data basis some conditions, so we will talk about it. But first of all, we will go and just learn about the normal filter, right? You might be knowing about these filters, but still I'll go and cover it, so that uh, before we jump on to the advanced filter, we should know how to at least use the basic filters. We will cover their shortcut keys also. Now, um so filters are very easy. Normal filter I'm talking. Suppose and they are used also in day to day, or life in Excel. When you work, they are very much used. We always have a data, and we always go and use them because of the you want to pull out some specific data. You want to pull out the data basis, the colors basis, the text values basis, text contains something. So that's how it is. So for example, if I have here a data, employee ID, name, and city, and then the company, year. Okay, so I just go and write something. So this is my a very small database, right? Couple of things you need to know when you use the filters. For example, you can use the shortcut key, which is Alt D, F, and F. Okay, this applies the filters, applies the filter on the selection. And if you go and use the same command again, removes the filters. So you have both the things here. For example, now the first method is, first you go and put your cursor on the cell where you want to put the filter. So I want the filter to be applied on this entire row. So you can select the entire data also, or you can just select the cell also. If you want to take the help from the ribbon, then that's how it is, data, and you click on the filter and the filter gets applied. You can see here. If you click back here, it is removed. Now same way I'm going to press Alt D FF, Alt D FF. You can see the filter is applied. Alt D FF, the filter is gone, right? So generally MIS people, they don't use the ribbons, they always use the shortcut keys, right? So I go and use the shortcut key Alt D FF, right? Now once the filter is applied, you can go to any filter. We can apply the filter here also. If I am interested in, let's say, picking up some selective people, maybe Akhil and Aman and Ankit, I want to select, I can do that. This is how it is, right? And if I want to change it, then again I can go click here and say select all or whatever. Same thing can be done using the shortcut key also. Now if I have to click here with my mouse, if the same thing I want to do using the shortcut key, what is the shortcut key? This is important because Alt D FF generally everybody knows. So you go and say that Alt down arrow. I go and say here Alt down arrow, and you can see here the moment I put the Alt down arrow, the drop down expands, and then using the down arrow, now you can go to the different options here. This is how it is. So if I have to, let's say, uncheck this select all, then without the mouse, you go and press the space bar. I press the space bar and see that it is gone. To remain in the filter, but to come out of your sub filters, you use the shortcut key called Alt D F S. Your filter is still on, but sub filters get removed. I'll show you what I mean. And I go and write the Alt plus down arrow key. This Alt down arrow is to expand the filter, and then spacebar we use to check mark or uncheck the items in filter. That is how it is. Okay, now let's go and do the entire stuff again. I want to remove the filter Alt D FF. I want to now come back here, Alt D FF again. I want to go here anywhere, I mean you can go. Let's say I want to go to the employee ID. Now I want to expand the filter, Alt down arrow. You can see that now the employee ID's window is visible. So use the down arrow key, go down like this. You can see I'm pressing down arrow. If I press the this up arrow, I can go up, down, whatever movement you need it. You can use these arrow keys accordingly. Now let's say I want some of the employee IDs to get filtered, maybe 11, 13, 16. So first press the spacebar here, select all, and now spacebar again, down arrow, select 13, spacebar. Now 15 is selected, press spacebar, press OK. This is how it is. Now if I want to come I want to come back to the original data, my filters should still remain on. Then I won't press Alt D FF, because if I press Alt D FF, see this, Alt D FF, what it will do, it will remove the filter also. So you have to apply it again, right? So again I do the same thing. This time I go to the city, Alt down arrow. Now down arrow key, go here. Let's say I want to select ABC, maybe this, and press OK. Now I will not press Alt D FF, I'll press Alt D FS. See what will happen. Alt D FS, your sub filters are removed, but your main filter is still on. This is the difference between Alt D FS and Alt D FF. Alt D FF completely removes the filters. Now filters are not just used to go in this expanded the window and select the items there one by one. No, it is not that. It has other things as well. For example, if I have to find that people who have let's say people who have, let's say, A alphabet in their names, okay, let's say people whose first initial is A, we want to filter those people. So you go in the name, first of all, Alt down arrow, and now here the one method is that you go and find out the list and you uncheck all the items like Jason, Matt, and all the items where we don't have the first initial coming A. But this is a very long process, because if you have 1000, 10,000 employees, you can't do that. So better you go to the text filter. In the text filter, when you so if you click the mouse, you can click on with the mouse, but if you just go and use the shortcut arrow keys, for example, this is the arrow key I'm using, then you have to press the right arrow key, because this arrow says that when you press the right arrow, this will come. So you can use the mouse also. Now here we have equals to, does not equal, begin with, end with, contain, does not contain. There are a lot of things, right? Let's quickly cover a couple of things. For example, you want to check begin with. As I said, that you select the begin with. Now begin with what? Begin with A. You can do that, right? Now you can also use the another criteria, that if it begins with A, then it should maybe less than, greater than, or maybe end with something. That is also something you can create. And the good part is it has the and the or condition. And means, so first of all I say begin with A, and I don't keep any option here. I click OK. Now you can see that my filter is showing me all the names which starts with A, right? Now let us say that we want to find out those people whose first and the last initial is A. Then what you do? Again you go to the filter. You don't have to remove the filter again. You can still go in this filter and say begin with. Now here you use the and because I want both the conditions to be true. So I say and with. Now in the and with, again I write here A. I click OK. Now when you do that, you can see you have only one person whose name is Aruna, and her first initial and the last initial is A. So filter is actually working. Now if you want to check that, I want to get the list of all those people whose first initial, whose first initial is A or last initial is A. So both the conditions are going to come. So that means your filter will give you those names also where you may find the first initial A but not the last initial, and the vice versa, because you're using the OR, right? Very simple. So I go and say that A and I say A. Just go and write here A, right? And they are not case sensitive. You can write in whatever form. So as you know, Excel is not case sensitive at all. It's just the find function which we did last time. That's the case sensitive thing. So I go and click OK. Now when I click OK, you can see that there are a lot of names coming. So the first name is coming ABC because it has first initial A, first initial A, first initial A, first initial A, again A. In the Puja you have the last initial A, right? So that is how you can set up the multiple criterias also. Now you can also check that whether some any name contains A. So you can use the contain also. You go to the contain option, and contain by default comes here. Well, these it's not suppose, I mean, when you are on the contain does not mean that you're bound to use the contain. If you have wrongly selected the contain and this window comes, you can always go and change this from here. The drop down will show you all the options, right? So you can use does not equals to greater than. Obviously this is not going to be applied on the alphabets, because you can't really say that in this is greater than this. However, does not equal to equals to you can use that. Suppose I want to find people whose name is not equals to Ajay, so you can use, but greater than and greater than equals to you can't apply that. That's very common sense. So I say contains. You can use the does not contain also. Okay, so I say that I want to find out people whose name contains A or maybe Y, let's say, right? You can go and put one more criteria here. I'll not do that. Now you can see that these all people, Akshay, Vidya, Ronnie, Jason, they all contains Y. Simple, right? Now sometime what happens, you use the filter in filters, nested filters. Now maybe your company can say that, all right, so we are looking for those people who's who contains the A alphabet or the Y alphabet, let's say, and their employee ID is greater than 50, or maybe in this case let's say greater than 20, right? So once you filter this option, then you go here and you filter this as well. So from here, this is a very small list, so you can do this manually also. You can uncheck 12, 18, because if you're finding greater than 20. But if the list is long, you can't do that, because if you get here 1000 employees, for example, after filtering on the name area, then this is not a good option. So you can use the number filter again. So I say that I go and less than, between, does not equal, greater than. So I want to use the greater than. You can use greater than or greater than equals to also, if you want to consider 20 also, right? So I say that I want the greater than 20. Now this is the second filter you are using. So you can see again here further the data is filtered, and all these filters, in this data, if let's say somebody forward you this file and you want to check where the person has applied the filters, you can see that these signs are coming here, the filter signs. They are not having these filter signs. This is just the arrow, and they have the filter sign with the arrow. So this, you should understand that when you look at this data, you should know that the filter is applied on these two columns. That is how it is. Okay, so and if you want to check where the filter is, you can just go and click here and you will find the selected item, and if you click there, you find the condition also, that the person has applied what condition. Suppose I go to this name option now, I click here, and I see that, so he has applied the contain option. Now in the contain, what he is checking, what she is checking, click on the contain and you will find the condition, right? So you can check that on which columns the filter is applied, and then the filter is applied having what conditions. Okay, so again I can go and say that now I need further something else, so this filter can be applied in all the columns one by one. I go and remove the filter or DFS. Let's come back to this. Right now, for example, you want to find out that people who are from the Dell company, how many people have joined the Dell company after 2007. Right now, guys, see, now understand one thing. It always depends upon the situation. Now somebody is asking you, your manager is sitting just next to you, and she or he is just asking you, so can you just quickly tell me how many people joined after 2001 in the Dell? Now for that you don't have to prepare any formula, because you don't want to share this information in the documented form or maybe in the dashboard. Somebody is just asking you, or maybe you're doing some analysis and you want the quick analysis. So what you do, you apply the filter and then you go here, all down arrow again, and then I go and select this Dell. Right, it is just a one company, so I will not go and use the text filter where I go and say equals to and then I write there Dell. No, it's very quick. I can simply go and select the Dell. Right, so Dell is there, I press OK, Dell company comes, and then here I again, because these numbers are very less, I can do this manually also. I can quickly go and select these things after 2001, or that you can use the number filter also. It depends. So we have got 3 people. So this is your answer. Now, though we are discussing the filter, but just to give you some revision, if you have to count this sort of stuff in Excel, maybe you are making some dashboard or you are using in somewhere, then you can use the COUNTIF also, if you remember. Not the COUNTIF but the COUNTIFs, because we have 2 criteria. So we can say that COUNTIFs, what is my criteria range? This is my criteria. I'm selecting the entire column, and you can use the Dell, and then here in the criteria range 2 you can see that greater than 2001. This is how we use the COUNTIFs, right? And you can see that you have the same answer, right? So this is how we use the filters. Okay, very simple. Now sometime what happens, if you have any sort of let's say this these the ears, I'm going to color them. For example, there is a topic in Excel called conditional formatting, which we will be doing in the next coming sessions. Conditional formatting is something that bases some target. If you're not able to achieve, you want that the want that cell color by default should change to red, and if the target is met, then green. And there are, different number of scenarios, and for every scenario you have decided that the cell should automatically choose some color, right? So there also we can use this. Right now what I'm doing, I'm not, because we haven't learned the condition formatting, I'm just putting some colors here, right? So just to show you that how you can use the filters in the colors also. So I've made some these colors and I'm going to show them in red. Let's say the red are the ones where we did not perform well. These are those ears, and these are the ones so and the yellow is the one where you have kind of showed some improvement, right? So you are neither on the loss side nor on the profit side, and then you have some good years also where you earned a very good profit. So I'm just going to show them as green, right? Now suppose this is some sort of the coloring which is done. Now if I have to pick, for example, the years where I did not do well, how I can do that? Now obviously no formula can do that, right? It's only the filter which you can use. So when you use the filter, people generally focus always on these things, but you have the filter by color also now available. So you can filter the color wise also. Let's say I want to pick up the red ones, so just go in there. You can see that this is a very good option. So I can go and now I can take this data maybe in some another sheet, and I can do my analysis there, or whatever you want to do, right? That's all. So why I did this step, just to show you that the filters can be copied also. right? So filter range can be copied as well. Now some people ask me that how, I mean, once the filter the data is there, then how we can copy the data. Well, we already know the shortcut keys, but again I repeat it. Now to select this entire data, I can use Control Shift right arrow and then Control Shift down arrow, right? You know, Control Shift right arrow and Control Shift down arrow, what they do, they select the entire if I first go here and I say that Control Shift down arrow, this will select the entire range. So it automatically finds, it stops to the last non-blank cell, right? So that's how. And then you can use Control Shift right arrow also. So this is how you can copy the data. Some people also use the Control Shift end. For example, end is a key on your keyboard. Control Shift end. When you press Control Shift end, then what happens? Control Shift end is a good option if you don't have a data in, you know, in any other cell apart from the table. Control Shift end, what it does, it goes to the last value, the last column. Now you know my last value is in the column M. Okay, so when I press Control Shift end, it stops in the M part. So here you can't use this option. However, if I don't have these values, then I can use the Control Shift end also, provided I'm on the right cursor, I'm on the right cell first. Okay, anyways, so let's go and remove the filter. Now this is the filter part, the normal filters we use, right? We can sort the data also. Let me quickly talk about the sorting also, because when you go to the data, when you use the filter, you have the sort also, and then we will talk about the advanced filter, right? So sorting is what? Sorting is just when you want to sort your data in some proper way, in some particular manner, like ascending order, descending order. So how I sort the data? So when you have applied the, let's say I just go and remove the filter from here first of all. Now I say that I want to sort the data. Click on the sort. You see that when you click on the sort, in that your data is selected by the Excel. Automatically your data will be selected. You don't have to select the data. If you want the manual selection, you can do that as well. So you have now here a header called sort by. Now let's say I want to sort these names alphabetically. So I go and say sort by name. Okay, sort on what? Sort on cell values. By default this always remains on the cell values, but you can go and sort by, you know, this thing by color also, by the font color also, by the conditional formatting icon also, right? Conditional formatting we haven't done, so we will be talking about these three options right now. Cell value means the basis, these values, the names we have. Order, A to Z, Z to E, or you have any specific custom list. Let's talk about the custom list in a while. A to Z is by default there, that means ascending order. So you have your first alphabet A and then B and then C, right? If you want to change this to Z to E, so you will have the first, the alphabet which is coming in the last, you know, when you start it from A, B, C, D, E, that comes first. And this is your by default always selected. My data has headers, so this means that when you do the sorting, your header will not move, and this is very important. So you don't have to do anything here. This means that the header will not be a part of sorting. If I just go and uncheck this, you can see that this is also selected now. So that means now name will also be treated as a value, and you will have this sorting. So you will, if I do this, this is a very wrong thing. If I do this, what will happen, you see that the name is also sorted. So you're starting from V, because we are we have done the sorting in the descending order. So V comes first, then U, R, and you have the, you know, A element in the last, right? So we don't want to do that. I say Control Z. I again go and now use the sorting. You can also use the Alt DS. Alt DS. This is a shortcut key. My data has headers, yes. Let's not include the header in the sorting. Sort on name. Cell value is fine. Order. Now this time, let's say I want to order it by A to Z, ascending order, and you have the data sorted in the ascending order. So sorting is also very important. Now sorting also, if you look at the data carefully, when I was using the sorting Alt DS, we have some here add level, delete level, you know, copy level, options, right? So I will be talking about these add level, delete level, and the options. Copy level is something I never did this. So After you sort the name of these people, you want to further go and sort them, let's say by employee IDs also. So you want that if we have three people whose first initial is A, so obviously they will be sorted. First they will be sorted, like in this case you see ABC coming first, then Akhil, and then Akshay, and then Aman, Anish, Ankit, Aruna. Now the question comes, why the Aruna is not coming on the top? Because Aruna also, if Aruna also has the first initial A, then I mean, is there any specific way they are sorted? Because Aruna can also take the place of ABC or maybe Akhil. Basically, when the sorting happens, it happens with the first initial and then second and then third, right? That's how it is. Now if you look at the ABC, in the ABC I have my first two alphabets A and B, so definitely this will be coming first because the next alphabet is AK and then AK and then M, so M always comes after A. That is how it is, and then you have the N, right? So it finds all these alphabets one by one. If it finds that the first alphabet is clashing, it goes for the second one and see which alphabet comes first. If let's say I have another item called ABCD, then ABCD will come in last because ABC, or let's say we have a ABC and ABD, then obviously ABC will come first because C is before D, so it will not just restrict to the two alphabets, it keep on checking the entire content. That is how it is. So we have sorted this. Now what if I want to, as I was telling you, that once you have sorted the name, you also want to sort their employee IDs, so that within that A initial I can see the employee IDs also in the sorting way. So I go right now, because if you look at this, I have 11 here, 20 here, and this is 12. This is not sorted, Ideally my plan is that I can sort these employee IDs also, but depending that first they get sorted in the name wise. So this is sort of the plan. So you can say that add level, and you can go to the employee ID. Now how you want the employee ID to be sorted, this is another option. So I say smallest to largest again, right? So when I click OK, you see that I do not find any changes in the data if you look at this, because they're already sorted in the proper way, right? I mean, if I have ABC here, then after that Akhil is already sorted in a correct way. I mean, Akshay can't take the place of Akhil because AKH comes first before first, then your AKS. So the employee IDs will not be sorted, because when the sorting happens, it does not happen on the cell wise, it happens on the row wise. If I'm sorting A, B, C and AKH, if these items are sorted, the rows will also be sorted. That is a different thing. If you do a wrong step, if you go and select this entire thing and now you apply the sorting here, this is going to be wrong. Okay, let's go and do that. So first of all, when you sort this data, this is sometimes people get this warning: Microsoft Excel found data next to your selection. Since you have not selected this data, it will not be sorted. What do you want to do? Expand the selection or continue with the current selection? This is a very crystal clear error. Not the error rather, but it's actually the message, the warning. Actually, Excel checks that there is some more data here and my user hasn't selected. So is it because of out of the ignorance, or it's actually very calculated the move the user is making, right? Because sometimes what happens, maybe you just want to sort the names, you don't want to really sort these employee ID, city, company, year. However, it should not never happen, because if you just go and sort these names, the rest of the data will not move. But I'm just giving the example. If this prompt comes, just go and if you find that no, you have selected actually the wrong area, you should have selected the entire thing, then you just say that okay, expand the selection please, and I click on the sort, and you see that Excel is so intelligent, it is going to select the entire data for you, right? Now for example, what I do is I say no, I'm okay with that, I only want to save. So I say that continue with the current selection, right? Sort the data now. Now when you sort the data, when I say let's say Z to E, this is what I do, right? Now you see that the name ABC is from the company's Dell, right? I go and sort the data. Now when I sort the data, you see ABC sorted in the descending order, but Dell is not moved. So this is very wrong, right? So please make sure when you're sorting, you should be knowing what you're sorting. And the sorting ideally should happen on the entire data, because if I have to move ABC, if I have to sort ABC, I at the same time want to sort its employee ID and city. I mean, the entire row should be sorted. When I say sorted in the entire row, I mean the rest of the row should move with this sorting item. Okay, now let's say I want to say that, all right, so after sorting the names, we want to, let's say, sort the cities also, and then the companies also. Okay, maybe let's say we want to sort the Dell. Okay, now this is what I'm going to do. Now I select this entire data. Okay, now what I do is I go to the sort option. Instead of the employee ID, let's say, let me select the company, and this is what I want to do: name and then the company. Okay, so this means that first the names will be sorted, and in those names, when they are going to be sorted, the companies will further be sorted in the ascending order. This is how, I mean, we're going to sort this. So go and click OK. And when you go and click OK, again the sorting is going on, but because your names are sorted already, they are sorted in the alphabetically, so the companies will not, I mean, you won't be able to sort out the companies. I mean, if you're looking for Dell and Dell together, and in this case, so let's say I do some variation here to explain you. For example, I go and create this a niche. Okay, as Dell, for example. This is I'm creating as Dell, and let's say, okay, Aman is also Dell. So we have only the Akhil, right, which is coming from the different company, right, and Ankit is also different. So we have so I go and make this, let's say, Max, and this I make it as Dell. Yeah, this is how it is. Now you see, if I go and select this and sort the data, you don't find any changes here, right? Because these datas, the names first will be sorted, and after that the companies will be sorted, but the companies also will at least, will actually look at this criteria. They can't move individually, they will move with these, basically the names, right? So if I say that I want to sort the company wise and then name wise, then that is the option. Then what we can do, we can go and select this data, and I go and say that sort the data, and I say company. Now I change the company, because I want the first company to be sorted and then the name. So first the companies will be sorted in the alphabetic alphabetically. So I will have Airtel first, and then I think Dell, and then the Max. And when you have this sorting happen, you can see that if you look at the data in the Airtel, or let's talk about the Dell. In the Dell company, I again have my alphabets sorted. So in the company called Dell, if you look at this, I have ABC, then Akshay, then Aman, and then Ankit, right? And then we have the Jason and the Umesh. So this is also alphabetically sorted, right? So first I have got the Dell company sorted, and in the Dell further we have the another sorting which happened in the names. So all the names are coming in a proper way. You can see this. So this is a double level sorting. So sorting also can happen in the color form. So when you apply the sorting, let's say I do not want this, I go and select this entire thing and I say delete level. So this is deleted. Now let's say I want to sort this the data, the company data. I want to sort these companies, or maybe I want to sort these names. sort on what? Sort on the cell color. So when you go on the cell color, they say that no cell color, because your cell color is not applied here. I mean, there's no color in the cell. That's why it tells you that you can't sort this, because there's no color in the name. Now if I go and say that, alright, so I go and select the year. Now you can see that when you go and select the cell color, you have here order option. Now they don't say no cell color, so you can sort them the way you want. Let's say I want the yellow ones, the red ones to first. So go and make the red one on the top, right? If you go click OK, the red ones will be on the top, no doubt, but the rest of the colors will not be sorted, right? So generally when we sort the data, we give the sequence out. So I can create more, more levels. I again say that now the year should be sorted. After this, I'm in with the yellow one more level, and then I say year. Now again the same color, and now I go and say that, so after yellow you go and start showing the green ones. If you want to change the direction, you can say, let's say you say that no, so the red should come on the bottom, and then you have the this on bottom. So if you go this by this method, so green I want on the top, this is what I want on the top, and then this should also come on the top, right? So green should come first, right, and then the rest of the things. So if I go and click OK, can we go and check that? You can see that I got my yellow ones first, and the green one first, and the red one first, right? Now I want the green one on the top, so you can again go and apply the filter. These things come with the practice actually, right? So you see that on the top green should come, and then on the bottom you should have the yellow one. Will this work for me? Can we go and check? Let's go and check that. Yeah, this is working for me. Okay, so or the good way of doing it, I think you just go and create here the green, and then the yellow, and then the red. That's it. That is how it is. And you keep this on the top, and then maybe let's say this is also top, this is also top. I click OK. I still have the same data. So I can see now my green ones, and then the yellow ones, and the red ones. So sorting can also be done on the colors. Now this sorting happens always vertical direction. You have just seen that. Sometimes your data is in the different direction. This is for example, this is your data, for example. Now this data, you have these name, and let's say this is your Sunday and Monday, right? So go and write here, or let's say Monday is your working day. So you have some data in the Monday, and then I go and drag this. So you guys are, what you are doing, you are expanding your table from left to right, not in the vertical direction. So these are just the performances. I go and copy this. So every Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, you come and you make this dashboard, right? So you have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Obviously, I mean, to make sure that this Monday is coming from which week or date, you can add the date as well. Now, like generally people, what they do, they create here, that this is your week 1 performance, Monday to, let's say, Sunday. You go in the home tab and you just merge and center, and you can write here, this is my first week. Or there are different ways of doing it. I mean, I will not get into that. So you have here a week 2. So you just go and paintbrush and repeat it, the step. Again, paintbrush, repeat this step like this, right? So here we have let's go and give it a thick border outside. So we have week 1, then we have week 2. And then you have a week 3. So that is how this goes, and we will now have to sort the data. Now you have a situation, you want to find out, you want to basically combine the Monday, and then Tuesday, and then Wednesday. Now this sorting, you can't make it possible using this, you know, this window, because this is going to sort the data in the downward direction. And you can see that in fact it starts giving you column A, column B, column C. Why the headers are not coming? First of all, headers should come, like name, Monday, Tuesday. Headers are not coming because you have selected the data incorrectly. You don't have to select the first row, because first row and the second row, they are very different. First row does not have any, the headers. It's just a merge and center we have used, right? So when you go and select the data, this is also very important that you should select the correct data. So if I have to sort the data name and the Monday, Tuesday, I go and select this data, Control Shift, obviously right arrow also. This is my data. Okay, now I go and sort this data. Now I select the correct data and I go in the data and I click on the sort. Now can we go and check that sort by? Now you can see that you are actually getting the headers correct. So this is the first thing you should know. But now the point is, if I have to sort, like if I have to make sure that the Monday and Monday should come together, this option won't work. In fact, when you go and apply it, you will also find that there is something wrong. This data is not that usual data generally we get to see, right? Because Monday, if you sort the data, how it's gonna sort? Because this is my one Monday and this is my one Monday. It's actually moving left to right. It's not moving in the downward direction, right? So when you have this sort of data which moves left to right and you want to sort the things, don't use this option. Go to the option, this option, and here just mention there that you want to sort the data now. You want to sort the data from left to right. So I go and click on the left to right and I click OK. Now when you do that, click OK. The sort criteria must have a column or row specify. My mistake. Actually, when you click on this option that now top to bottom is not required, I need the left to right. You have to tell that left to right should happen in which manner, right? So I go and now sort this by row number 2, row number 3, row number 4, right? Now you see that you don't get the headers here, like name Monday, because now the sorting is going to happen left to right. So I want sorting to be done on the row number 2 because that is my header, right? So you go and say that row 2. Order remains A to Z because I want Monday first and then Tuesday, right? I click OK, and now you can see that you have got the data sorted, but somehow your header is also moved, right? This is not good. Though I am able to sort, I am able to put all the weekdays, these, as a group, but this is not a good option. Let me undo it. Let us see what is the mistake we did. Data, sort. Now I think the problem was that you should not select the name, because name you don't want to sort, right? Like in the vertical thing also, I told you that when you sort the data, keep the header, exclude the header from the data, right? So that is the same thing. I'm going to do it here. Now I go and select this data and I will do my sorting on this data. So I go and say data and sort, right? Now I go to the option. Remember, I have not selected column A because that should not go anywhere. Names are always, they are supposed to be there. Left to right, again row number 2. Okay, click OK. Now here you can see that I have got my Friday sorted, I have got my Monday sorted, I've got my, the Saturday coming here, and then the Sunday coming here. So basically all the weekdays are coming one by one, next to each other. So we have got this data sorted. Now you can go and further do whatever you want to do, but this is how the data was previously. And if you have to calculate a niche performance, now you don't have to go to individual cells, because if you have to see that, all right, so what is the total score of Manish, you go and check like this. But once you have sorted the data, it's very easy for you, so sometimes this sorting also works for us. And when you do the sorting, you can, if you have seen that, when you go to the data and when you click on the sorting in this option, case sensitive option is also there. So if you want to sort left to right, but you want to make sure that they should have a same uppercase or lowercase, you can click this option. So that way, if somebody has written MON in caps on, and there's another MON which is in small letters, they won't come together, right? So these are the things you're supposed to know in the filters. Now, so this is a very basic filter, which we use. Now we will go and now target on the advanced filter. What is the advanced filter? I go and create a separate sheet for this advanced filter. Now advanced filter actually is very different from these filters, right? It's just that the name filter is coming in both the definitions, but the kind of functionality, the advanced filter, the way it works, it's very different, and it's a very, very powerful also, right? Now what is advanced filter? Now first of all, people generally know advanced filter for one reason, which is to extract the unique values. What do you mean by that? Well, let's go and talk about this. Now let's say I go here and create some duplicate rows. Copy this, paste it here, right? Now what I want to do is I want to remove the duplicates. Duplicate means duplicates name wise, employee ID wise, city wise, company wise, and year wise. So basically I'm saying that I want to find out how many duplicate entries I have here. Not just the name wise, not just the employee ID wise, but I'm looking for the basically entire combination. Like if the MAT 23 TTT Airtel 2013 is coming somewhere, let's go and check that, Now, before I go and use the advanced filter on this process, on this, to sort out this thing, I want to tell you, just to revise the count a function again. What you need to do is, when I ask generally this question, many people, they are not able to answer this, that this can also be done using the COUNTIF, because they get confused first of all with the range, that what range I have to give, because he has so many different columns. And then they also get confused with the criteria, because here you have name, employee ID, city, company, year. So how I'm going to check that how many times this item is coming? Because if any item is coming more than once, that means it is repeated. But I'm not here to check that how many times MAT is coming, because if I have to check that, I can go and select this range and I can write here my criteria is MAT. Or maybe if I want to check the employee ID, if it is repeating, I can go and do that as well. I can say that go in the B2B range, and because I have to drag this formula down also, so I won't write 23 manually. I go and select the B2, right? And then B2 will be B3, B4. So you will have B2 count, B3 count, B4 count. So wherever you see item, the number answer greater than 1, you find there that it is repeating. But here we have basically not the individual cells. So here what you will do is you first make their combination. So you just go and join the mat with all the cells. Mat 23, city, and company, and this, right? Now this has nothing to do with the advanced filter. I'm just telling you this for your knowledge. Now when you drag this, finally what you have done very smartly, you have concatenated them. Now I can say that if in this range now, not in the A range, B range, C range, but in this range where I have collected all the items, anywhere if I find MAT 23 TTT Airtel 2013, let's count it. Simple. So what you do, you say count it, you go in this range, freeze the range, and then you go and say that I want to count this G2. Further when you go down, G2 will be G3, G4, so you will have the count of every item, and that's how finally then you will go and put the filter. So I go and say that this is, let's say, count, or I write here duplicate, and here this header I will hide it from the user. Okay, this is my calculation, and this is nothing, so maybe we can hide this or whatever, I don't know, but I'm just trying to tell you. I select this data and see that filter. Now here also we have a very important thing to notice. If I remove the filter, for example, now if I select this cell and I press Alt D F, please understand the filter will not reach here, and this is also something a problem with the beginners, because what if I want to, because you want to put the filter in the duplicate, so you must select that, right? And that duplicate, it should start from here, because when you go and filter this data, you just don't want to filter G and H, because you want that if you put the filter, let's say, greater than 1, then you should have these items also coming there. You can see that what all rows are there. So that is why I said that selection is very important. Now what happens when you use the filter, because of this blank row, your Excel stops here. So in order to sort out that issue, you select the entire table like this and now put the filter, or remove the F column, don't create a space. Okay, now here I go and say that just remove the one part. So now all the items which are coming 3 times, if I go and check one by one, let's say I want to check, so how many items are coming 2 times. So I can see that Ronnie is the one and the ABC is the one. This is the first repetition, this is the second repetition, right? And this is my first for the Ronnie, and this is my second for the Ronnie. If I want to check that, okay, so what are the items which are coming 3 times? The mat is coming 3 times, right? So now why we are doing this? Not because I want to count how many times they are coming, but because I want to delete them. I do not want to keep the duplicacy. So if some item, if let's say this mat is coming 3 times, I have to delete this. I don't need this data, right? So just understand, we have a very small data, but if you have a big data, some may be repeating 5 times, 10 times, 7 times, you never know. You can't go one by one on all the filters, and start removing it. For example, first I select 2, and when I select the item 2, then this Ronnie is coming 2, so I will delete this. I won't delete this, because if you delete this, then Ronnie will be gone. At least unique item has to be there. I want to keep the one row, but the second row, third row, fourth row, if it is coming, that I have to delete it. So one by one you will do all this process. So that is why the advanced filter comes into, here the plays a very important role, because in advanced filter everything is going to be taken care by the filter itself. Let's go and check that. So this is, I'm not deleting this, this is for your, just for your revision, okay, that this is also how you can use the COUNTIF. You can concatenate, and you can check the entire row as well. Now how to use the advanced filter? So first of all, you go in the advanced filter, click here. Now when you click on the advanced filter, again Excel IntelliSense checks your data, automatically selects the data because my cursor was on the A1. But you know, I don't need the G and the H. This was not, I wanted to actually, select my, so no problem. In the list range, delete this and select this manually like this, right? So we have got it. Okay. Now, what is the criteria range? So you can see that if I just scroll to the left side, what happens, my cell reference changes. You see that now it's selecting only A1. So this is wrong. What happens when you have to move this left to right in these, the windows, this is like a name manager. If you remember, you always use the left arrow or the right arrow. So what happened when I created this advanced filter and I said that delete this and select from here and select this data. Now I wanted to show you that what is coming before $1, so what I did, I just try to move to the left side using the left arrow. But when you do that, what happens, instead of moving, it somehow removed my entire range and it linked my cell, this list range with the A1. That is the problem coming here. Okay, so again I do the same thing again. I select the data. Now before I move this to the left side, I first go in the edit mode by pressing F2. Okay, so you go and press F2. When you go and press F2, now I can see that, you can see that I can move my the cursor, right? So we are saying that in the sheet advanced filter, the data, the list which I want to filter, it's A1 to E5. Okay. Now the question comes, what is the criteria? There's no criteria. Right now there's no criteria. I simply want to pick up the unique items. Okay. So by default the option is filter the list in place, which means do the filter right over here, copy to another location, do the filter somewhere else. We will be talking about this, but right now let's keep the filter in the unique place. Okay, I go and click OK. Let's go and check that what's gonna happen. You see that I don't see anything happening here, right? Again I go and click on the advanced filter. I have my range. This is coming my range. Let's not change that. I say this time now unique records only. Click OK. There we go. You can see now here. You have got here Matt, Akshay, Jason, Ronnie, ABC, Aman, Ankit, Akhil, Vidita, Pooja, Aruna, Vidya. Is there any repetition here? There's no repetition here. Remember, the Matt, this item was coming 3 times. Where is it? It is actually hidden now. So what happened? Instead of doing all this process, advanced filter simply filtered the unique items for me. And now I can copy this. I can go here and I can paste this. I mean, wherever I want to use this data. So I'm able to pull out the unique records. Now the question comes, after you copied this data, you want to go back to the previous data. So just do Alt D Fs, right? Alt D Fs. You will be back on your advanced filter. Now you have that again, the entire data coming here. Now, is there any other way also that I can do the same step but on the different sheet? I mean, I don't have to copy this. Let's go and check that. Again, I go and say advanced filter. I don't do any changes here. My list range is coming correct. Make sure you should select the proper data. Yes, I need the unique records. Okay. Would you like to copy this somewhere? Well, yes. So this time I use the copy to another location. Criteria, there's no criteria. Where you want to copy? I want to copy them here, let's say. No problem. Click OK. You can see that the data is available here. So simple. You want to take this data to some different sheet. That is also, it's quite possible. So let's say I want to go to the sheet 4. So what I do, again, I go to the advanced filter. I have copied to another location. and this time now my copy to. So where I want to copy this data, make sure you click on the unique records, okay, because you need the unique records only, you don't need the duplicate parts. So when I say duplicate means, it does not mean that if let's say mat is coming 3 times, so it is a duplicate, so we will not have the mat in the data. No, the mat will come as a unique entry, which means if mat is coming 3 times, not just the mat, I mean the entire this row, if it is coming 3 times, it will appear only one time. It's not that it will be eliminated. We are not removing the duplicates. I mean, we are not removing the duplicate entries in the sense that they are not picked up by this advanced filter, right? At all, they are not. No, we are keeping their first entry available, but the second, third, if it is repeating, that's not we are going to see. So original data is there. I mean, you will find mat in the next data, but it will come only once. So now I said I want to copy this to the different sheet. So I go to the sheet 4 and let's say I want the data here. Click OK. Now when I click OK, you can only copy filter data to the active sheet. Now look at this. It clearly says that you can't copy the filter data to some another sheet, because I can copy this only in the active sheet, only in this active sheet. Okay, it is not allowing me to go to the different sheet. Okay, the error is clear to me. I understand what it says, but is there any way, I mean, I can do that still? I mean, so instead of me going in the advanced filter sheet, I first go to the sheet 4 and I keep my cursor here. And now I say that let's go and use the advanced filter once again. Obviously you will have a now list range coming, So list range, for the list range, I go in the advanced filter sheet. Again, I select my data. Okay. And unique records, right? Copy to another location. No, you don't need now. Filter the place in this place. Click OK. Database or table range is not valid. Again, I'm getting here error. Let's go and check that again, why the error is coming. So I say that copy to another location this time. Okay. And copy where? I select this cell. Okay. Before I go to the list range. Now I go in the list range. I select this data. And I click OK. You see the data is coming. That is how you sort out the issues. But I forgot to click on the unique records. That's why you find here all the duplicacy entries coming here. So let me go and delete this. Now what I'm telling you, these all steps, this is what exactly you will, when you will start the advanced filter, you will have these questions in your mind. And even if you don't have, but when you start working on the advanced filter, that sort of errors will come. So that's why I'm trying to tell you everything in advance, that if you read the error and try to understand. Now you want the data to be copied here from the different sheet. So don't use the advanced filter here, because that will not allow you to go and copy the data from here and paste it in the different sheet. Make sure you first go on that sheet where you want the data. Now here, if I want the data, now you go and say advanced filter and make sure unique records and copy to another location. This is also very important. And now first select that cell. So let's say I want the data here. Just select one cell. Now the list range. So what is my list range? Go to that sheet and select the data. Now I click OK. Now you have your data. You can see here. Right now there is one more method which you can use to filter this data. Every time I go and select this table, it's very, I can say tedious task, right? Because if I have to use this advanced filter, why we just don't, create a name manager for this? That would be fantastic thing. You know how to create the name managers? We have done this in the indirect and the videos. So I go and select this data and I give it a name. So let's say I give it a name called telecom data. Don't give any space. Space is not allowed. If you give the space, underscore will be inserted, right? So if you have a long name, maybe you can go and use the underscore. Okay, but I will not. I just keep my telecom data like this, or telecom D is fine, right? So telecom D is created. Make sure you should check that. You can see that it's created. Now the same step I'm going to do here. Now this time, let's say I select this, I want to paste the data maybe here, let's say. Let's go to the advanced filter. Okay, by the way, if you want to use the shortcut key for the advanced filter, what is it? Well, it's very simple. uh, when you press alt key, see this, when you press alt key, your top ribbon gets activated. I do not know whether you ever know this thing, because with the alt key you can activate all these top headers. You can see here these F, H, N all are coming. Now you want to go to the advanced filter, and the advanced filter is in which ribbon? It's in the data ribbon, right? And then you go and press A, because this is A. So when you press A, see this. Now in the data, all these options are available. Now I don't really consider them as shortcut keys. I don't know. I mean, because generally these are basically you're taking the help from the ribbon one by one. But in a way we can say yes, these are the shortcut keys. Of course, I mean, because one by one they will take you to the first the ribbon, and in the ribbon then inside the ribbon, the whatever the main menu you have, and then the sub menu. So now Q is for my advanced filter, right? So I go and press Q. Look at this, right? So now when I know that, so what I will do next time, I know it's alt AQ, right? So I go and quickly press this. Let's go and check that. Alt AQ. Look at this. So that's the good thing to know. So you can use the alt A and Q for the advanced filter, because when you get when you will practice on the advanced filter, you will feel that there has to be some shortcut key, because you will find it this irritating coming every time in the data, right? So let's go and say alt AQ. Remember this option. Now copy to another location. So if you don't want to take the help of the mouse, you can use the down arrow. Okay, so down arrow, I mean, you can check. I'm also checking with you. So when I press down arrow, somehow it has selected the list range. I don't need that. So now I want to go to the next parameter, the criteria range. You see, I'm pressing tab key. So tab is taking me everywhere. You can see that. Now tab has taken me to the filter the list. Now the tab has taken me to the list range, and now the criteria and the unique records, and then OK, and then again. So keep on pressing the tab, and one by one it will take you to these different windows. Now once I'm in the filter the list, the moment I press tab, my copy to another location is not selected. So what I can do, I can go back to the filter in the place, shift and tag. Shift tag will take you back. Now I use the down arrow key. You see that? So I'm just kind of using my experience and common sense, that maybe they have created this both the option buttons in single tap. So first I go to the, let me do this again, alt AQ. Now when you are on the, you can see your cursor is on the list range. So you press tab key. When you press the tab key, it will move forward. When you press shift tab, it will take you back, right? Shift is always acts in the reverse order. So once I'm on the filter, I say copy to the another location. Now I go and say list range. Now in the list range, we have already created a table which is telecom D, right? So this is something you can do. And then I go and say tab, 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 check mark, space bar. Like in filter we do it, right? So that's how it is. And so alright, so now I'm not getting here any data. We can go and check. I have a doubt on, so it's telecom D. Okay, telecom D, alt AQ. So copy to another location, telecom D, copy. Let's say I want to copy this here, unique record, click OK. You can see the data is coming. So you can also create the name managers, what I mean to say. So what is advanced filter? Advanced filter is known to pick up the unique values, or in other words, to remove the duplicates, right? I mean, they don't delete the data, but they just filter the things. And this thing you can't do using the normal filter, because I have to check the duplicates. Maybe you can go and check this, check this out. You can use the count if also, but instead of that, you can use the advanced filter also. But this is just the beginning. This is just the beginning. Maybe tomorrow when we go and start the advanced filter, we will be talking about more criteria. Let's say, for example, you want to pull out those names which contain a entire data you want to pull out. You want to copy that data and put it somewhere, right? So sort of that things you can use in the you can create some criteria also in the advanced filter, because if you see this, I did not use the criteria range yet, so this we will do tomorrow, right? Alright guys, so let's meet in the next chapter, next tutorial, and let's talk more about the advanced filter, right? It is very, very powerful. Thank you so much.